Welcome to Mizuki's mysterious encounter with the Shinagawa monkey. If you enjoy intriguing stories, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. What's something people don't know about losing their identity? Mizuki stared at herself in the mirror. Her eyes, big and unsure, looked for something she knew, her name. But it was gone, like a whisper carried away by the wind. Panic, cold and heavy, filled her chest. She was Mizuki Ando. At least, she thought so. The name felt far away, like a story someone told her a long time ago. She touched her face, the smooth skin, the curve of her cheek. Was this her face? Her hand shook. Mizuki had moved to Tokyo with her husband Kenzo just a few months ago. The huge city with its bright lights and busy energy was too much for her. She felt lost, like a tiny boat in a huge swirling ocean. The forgetting started slowly. First she forgot a word here and there, a quick moment of confusion, but then the moments got longer, happened more often. And now she couldn't even remember her own name. The air was thick and sticky in Shinagawa. Mizuki walked along the packed streets, her sandals slapping the sidewalk. The city noises, car horns, the rumble of trains, people talking, felt like they were closing in on her. She'd been to this part of Tokyo before. Kenzo worked nearby, and she sometimes met him for lunch, but today, the streets she knew seemed strange and scary. She felt a weird pull, like she needed to hurry somewhere, but she didn't know why. A worn-out sign, hidden in a small alley, caught her eye. "Mrs. Sakaki, counselor," it said in faded Japanese writing. Mizuki paused, then stepped into the alley. The city noise faded away. Mrs. Sakaki's office was small, with just a few pieces of furniture. The air smelled softly of incense and green tea. Mizuki sat on a worn cushion, her hands clasped tight in her lap. She told Mrs. Sakaki about forgetting things, about the fear that gripped her. "Mrs. Sakaki, tell me about your life in Tokyo, Mizuki-san." Mizuki talked about her life in Tokyo, the words rushing out of her. She described the huge crowds, the constant noise, the feeling of being invisible in a city of millions. She talked about missing her hometown, a small village surrounded by rice fields and bamboo trees. She talked about Kenzo, his long work hours, how focused he was on his job. He was nice, she said, but distant. Sometimes she felt like a stranger in her own home. "Mrs. Sakaki, the city can be a lonely place. It's easy to get lost in the crowd, to forget who you are. But the city can also be a place for fresh starts. A place to find yourself, to build a new you." Mizuki thought about her words, a tiny bit of hope growing inside her. Mizuki kept seeing Mrs. Sakaki. She found comfort in the older woman's quiet wisdom, in the safety of her office. She started to understand her anxiety, the stress of getting used to a new life, a new city. She realized that in the craziness of Tokyo, she had lost touch with herself. She had tried so hard to fit in, to be the perfect wife, that she had forgotten who she was. Her own name, once something that told her who she was, had become a whisper lost in the wind. One afternoon, walking home from Mrs. Sakaki's office, Mizuki felt drawn to the Shinagawa station. The crowd swirled around her, a sea of faces and hurrying feet. She felt a familiar wave of confusion, a dizzying fear, and then she saw him. He was sitting on a bench near the station entrance, a small, thin figure almost hidden by the crowd. A brown monkey, his fur messy and dirty, his eyes bright and smart. He wore a ripped red vest and a playful grin. But the strangest thing was the name tag pinned to his vest. It said, in neat, handwritten letters, "Tanaka-san." Mizuki had seen lots of strange things in Tokyo, but a monkey with a name tag was a new one. The monkey caught her eye and winked. Mizuki, not sure what to do, smiled a little. He grinned back, showing surprisingly human-like teeth. She felt a strange urge to go talk to him, to figure out why he was there. As she got closer, she noticed a small leather pouch hanging from his shoulder. It was full of something, a shape that looked a little familiar. She couldn't shake the feeling that this monkey, this Tanaka-san, held a clue to her own life. Mizuki stared at him, unable to speak. "Tanaka-san, don't look so surprised. It's not every day you meet a talking monkey, is it?" Mizuki slowly shook her head, wondering if she was dreaming or if she had walked into some strange hidden world. "Tanaka-san, Tanaka-san." Mizuki spent the next hour talking to Tanaka-san, if you could call their strange conversation talking. He told her he had come to Tokyo from the mountains, drawn by the city's energy and the excitement of adventure. He spoke like he knew her secrets. He asked about her life, her worries, her feeling of being out of place. Mizuki found herself telling him everything, even things she hadn't told Mrs. Sakaki. Then, like he was reading her mind, he reached into his leather pouch and pulled out a handful of name tags. They were old and faded, the plastic cracked in some places, each one had a different name, a different life story. Tanaka-san, I collect them, the names people lose, the identities they leave behind. He held up a tag, the name Mizuki Ando, written across it in handwriting she knew. Mizuki stared at the name tag, her heart beating fast. It was hers. She recognized her own handwriting, the little ink smudge on the M, but how did a talking monkey get it? Tanaka-san? Don't lose yourself, Mizuki-san. The city can be a cruel place. Hold on to who you are, and with that, he was gone. Mizuki looked around, but the monkey had disappeared into the crowd. She stood there for a long time, the name tag clutched tight in her hand, Tanaka-san's words echoing in her ears. The forgetting stopped after that day. Mizuki's name came back, along with a sense of herself she thought she'd lost forever. She stopped trying to be the perfect Tokyo wife and started doing the things that made her happy. Painting, writing short poems, taking care of her little balcony garden. Life in Tokyo became comfortable. Mizuki still felt the city's chaotic energy, but it didn't feel like it would swallow her up anymore. She had found her place, her voice. She had found Mizuki Ando. But sometimes late at night, when the city lights painted her apartment walls in a rainbow of colors, she would remember Tanaka-san. She would remember his knowing eyes, his strange story, the name tag he had given back to her. Was he real, a magical creature in a normal world? Or was he something she imagined, a symbol of her own anxieties? Mizuki didn't know. Maybe, she thought, some questions are better left unanswered. She looked out at the city lights, the name Mizuki Ando a quiet echo in her heart, a name she had taken back, a self she had made new, and far away, carried on the wind, she thought she heard the faintest sound of a monkey laughing.